8:30 in the morning. It's almost 30 degrees outside. I've got the door open, so if you might hear a fly in the background, that's what you're going to be hearing. Alright, look at that. There's my center. There's my center. This is my new one. That's what I'm going to be using. So, discard that. Discard that. There's my new line. So if my waist is 17, my hip is 20. There's 20 there. And 20 there. So this one here that I miscalculated moves up around from there to there. When you have that pleat going over the center line, it becomes very uncomfortable when you walk, because the inside, on your inside leg, you've got that going all the way down and it's very uncomfortable. So err on the side of not too deep a pleat, but this is acceptable. It's also going to have a nice deep pleat here. Now, can you see over there? It's got that overhanging. In our final finishings, we just turn that like that inside and we sew it down. So it forms a nice even, just a little bit deeper than that. So you don't see that. So you don't see that. Over here, this will be nice and deep. That will be nice and deep. Alright, so I'm very happy with the change of the inner apron. Now I can sleep tonight. Alright, here we go, first stitch. I always just pull it through twice. That way it just gives a nice tie off. Alright, there's my equator. Northern hemisphere, southern. That black line is slightly aft, that one is forward. So remember, my needle is going at a 45-degree angle. Here's my index finger. And here's my thumb, and I'm holding the material nice and tight. Now I'm going into the tapered black section on my northern hemisphere. So I look at a previous pleat. Can you see it's tapering from the red? It's tapering into the black. So I've got to make sure that from there it's tapering ever so slightly. So from my red, it's tapering ever so slightly until it dissolves into the black, and that's what I must be conscious of. So before I start stitching, I reaffirm what my previous pleat looked like up at the top, and it's going from the red, and the black is slowly dissolving into the black line over there, and that's what I'm going to be doing right now. Now I'm going into the black, and tartan's very easy to work with because the colors tell you where you need to put your needle. Alright, now that we're here at that buttonhole, I draw a line over there, and remember, instead of tapering this from that buttonhole, we want to now make it so that it tapers up. It doesn't go in that angle, it goes parallel, just like this one there. Can you see that green line? We've tapered it from there, and now it goes parallel. The same with this here. So we've got a bit of black there, so I take that black, and that black line from there is going to be parallel all the way up to there. Can you see that? Alright, so what I'm going to do is there's the buttonhole, and because this is my waist, everything from the center of that buttonhole is always parallel. It's not tapered. Can you see there? That's tapered. Now I pinned it as tapered, but when I start stitching it, I unpin it, and then I'll make it nice and parallel like that. Alright. Alright, it's looking beautiful. Right, I'm happy with that. Alright, whenever we do our work, we always double check, make sure. Can you see that joined at the 17 there? That's what I wanted. And it's 8.5 up at the top. And what this side looks like there, I've got to now to do this side there. There's my hips over there. Over there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the A-line. Now the seam that you just sewn there, don't worry too much if your naked eye thinks that that's a little bit wonky. It's not. Remember, you're going from a horizontal there, and the angles change. So to the naked eye, your seams might seem a little bit off, but they're not. You saw me stitch it, and I've done a good job. All right. So now, with your hand, you feel all the way down until you find the end, and that's going to be the natural hang. So that's going to be the natural hang. Can you see? If this was around the kilt wearer, this will be unsightly. So when we finish this kilt off, we're going to be folding that in and stitching that in. So remember, whatever I do on this side, I've got to do on this side as well. So there it is there. Here's the center of my kilt. There is the end. There's the hip. So without going in a straight line, I kind of do a curve. Something like that. Something like that. There we go. So you will never get an absolute A-line there because it just tapers in way too much. So I prefer to have this hip measurement gradually being tapered in, and this one sits on the outside of the right leg. So this is going to be a nice tapered seam all the way down there, and that's what I'm going to be doing next. So I've drawn this line, and this is what's going to be taken behind. So what I'm doing here is I'm just using my magic pins just to get a rough estimate, a rough guide as to how my apron, my A line is going to be working. Alright, it's starting to look like a kilt now. So for me, this looks too straight. Can you see that? I want a slight bow, just a slight bow. So I'll be extending extending this slightly. I'm happy with what it looks like at the bottom, because this side is going to mirror this side there. I'm happy with that. I'm very happy that the black line is now prominent and is tying in nicely to the back line of the kilt there. Alright, so if the wearer has got a nice big build and nice big legs, then this bows slightly more. So I just want to bring it out slightly more, not too much. There we go. There we go. What do you think of that? That looks nice. Alright, so you don't want an A, although it's called an A line, you don't want an actual A. You want it to be a nice contour line. It's kind of like looking at a beautiful line of a vehicle, you know? It just speaks to you. So you got a nice contour line there. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is I turn this beautiful masterpiece over. I'm going to be now folding this inside there. Once I fold it in like that, I'm going to be now stitching that. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Taking the inside and stitching that flat. Alright, so you'll see that because I've folded it over, the tartan isn't even. It's not going to be spaced out evenly. May I suggest that when you start from the bottom. Can you see those frilled in? What do? Do you cut them or do you leave them like that? So if I fold it in, how will it look? Is it going to make that much of a difference folded in? I don't think so. That looks alright. Just gives a little bit of bulk to it, but that's okay. Alright, so all I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be folding that in onto my lines and working all the way up. Now you will see at the beginning these lines will all match up, but as I'm going up the side, the lines are going to start getting warped. They're going to start, so the first couple of inches will be even. You can see they're pretty even there, but as I go up, it starts warping out. Right, that's it there. So you're going from a taper, nice and wide. You turn it over and you have a look and see what does it look like. Is it still to your specs? Have a feel. That looks nice. That looks nice. What I'm going to start doing now is I'm going to sew this. When you start, just realize that this isn't going to be parallel to that, because you've folded the material and you're working at an angle. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to only be nicking. I'll start with a center point, and I'm only going to be nicking a thread, a single thread. I always start off with a tie off and another one. Because this is my outer apron, I don't want my stitching here to be visible on that side there. Remember, I'm going to be stitching all the way down there, and I don't want any visible stitchings over there. So this is where you take your time and you just take under, you go under where you've gone, you take a thread and you bring it up. And you're just nicking that folded piece. And you go under again and you're just nicking the top. Can you see, if you look at the tartan, there's a bump, a peak, and then a valley, a peak and a valley. Now the peak is what I'm getting into here. The valley is what's showing on the other side. So I don't want to be going into the valley. Keep your stitching small. If I turn over, you can't see the stitching there. Can you see there's the valley and the peak? I'm taking the valley of this side. Right, so here we're getting to the end bit now. I have seen quite a few kilts in my collection. When I buy them, I reverse engineer them again and open them up, purely because I want to see how the previous kilt maker built them. So over here, what they do is they leave this open. I don't like that. So what I'm going to be doing is stitching this closed. So again, get my needle, I'll just pinch the top and bring it over. I'm just nicking a little bit. And then nicking the top and bringing it over. Nicking the top. So over here, just make sure that the inside bit that you are sewing isn't lower. In other words, because this is your front, you don't want it looking like that now, do you? Alright, you don't want it looking like that. So you want a nice even seam. And that's what I'm doing now. Last little ½ an inch. There's one. Do one more. Perfect. Grab my Earnest Right scissors. Nice even. Look at that. Perfect. So in summary, we've shifted that blue line that I didn't like to the black line. I re-measured from my waist from there to there, which is 17 inches. I've tapered the A line going all the way down. I've stitched the A line in, a nice stitch. Now you will find a bit of bulk there, but once we iron this, the tartan will settle nicely. So I'm not worried about that right now. All right, that's what we've done. I'll see you in the next one.